Well, the Honda isn't going to be leaving anytime soon, which it's not a bad thing. But my concerns, my concerns are a reality. A little bit of context for you. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned something about the block having some scuff marks and everything like that, and the fact that the block wasn't machined, but the head was a concern because with the metal gaskets, as I've mentioned before, if both surfaces aren't completely flat, then it won't seal properly. Well, that's what's going on. Prior to me doing the this head gasket, I am sweaty, but the compression was 95 before I redid the head gasket. So when I did the head gasket, the compression went from 95 previously to 150. So there was a head gasket issue still, but now there's what I'm suspecting is a warped block, because what's happening is I did a leak down test in cylinder 2. So it's leaking from cylinder 2 and the air is coming out to the back of between cylinder 3 and 4, which tells me that, you know, the block or something's still warped, which is allowing the air to pass through and then taking the path of least resistance to get out. The Honda's been, it's a priority, but I've been taking the most amount of time on this only because I've been doing a lot of side work, a lot of mobile stuff actually lately, going out to people's houses and doing some small jobs here and there. I'm trying to save the money to either get my own shop so I can start my own business more officially than just my garage, or B, make enough to go buy an existing business with a good cash flow, good reputation, good all that, and run that. So that being said, because what I wanted to actually do in this video was I wanted to get started on the Sequoia. Now, my passenger door does not like to shut all the way. I didn't even know I opened it. But that's not the point. The point is, I made a video a while ago of like doing a mock-up for the front bumper. Originally, I was going to start this then, but I need to get my life together and find some sort of income stability. These 9-to-5 jobs just don't do it anymore, if you know what I mean. But I'm getting there, so I wanted to get started on this now because I was going to go get a welder and a couple other tools that I needed to get this started with, but now I got to get tools for the Honda. So this is going to be future plans. Definitely stick around for this. This is going to be pretty. This is going to be pretty badass. I'm turning this to a shop truck. So there's a lot of custom fab stuff I want to do inside and outside to make it more versatile, I guess. But anyways, let's get back to the Honda. And so take a good look at the Honda, because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and take off all of the accessories, exhausts, intake, pretty much everything to get this thing ready. I am going to be pulling this motor out with the transmission still connected, so I'm going to be showing you guys how to do that as well, and then disassembling everything outside of the car because it will just be easier that way. So here's the before the motor's pulled. Alright, and here we go with the Honda motor is ready to be pulled out. Now, here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to zoom in here real quick. We are going to remove the transmission with the motor. So we're moving it as one whole unit. It's some electrical connectors throughout the car. I do got to remove the lower timing cover to get to the crank sensor. But it's this motor mount, that motor mount, that motor mount, and there's a motor mount in the back. Now, in order for me to pull the transmission and the motor at the same time, I do got to remove the CV axles. I don't really know too much, but I should say I don't remember if you remove these struts that there needs to be an alignment. I don't remember. However, this is how I'm going to do it. So first, we're going to remove the tie rod here from the knuckle. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, we're going to loosen up the upper ball joint. And step 3, we're going to remove the lower ball joint and pry it out. And that way it'll give us enough room to smack that with the pry bar to pop it off, and then you can just slide it out. Of course, loosen up, take the, you could see somewhere over there, I think, I loosened up the speed sensor, the brake line. That way it's not holding a bunch of tension. but that way that could just sit there and hang out. We don't have to worry about any sort of alignment issues or needing another axle nut or anything like that that is either an alignment or a one-time use thing. Right now I just want to get the motor prepped up because in this next clip the motor's going to be completely out of the car. We're going to be going, I'm going to have the whole thing disassembled, so we're going to be going through the bottom end this time because in my last video I wanted to do like a warp check, but I didn't have a straight edge or any sort of flat piece small enough to fit inside the engine bay onto the block. So we're just going to do it outside of the car now since my straight edge is 20 feet long. And bam, we got the block ready to go. It definitely is warped. I did a straight edge test with the light and everything like that, and it's pretty wavy. So it's already a problem. You can actually, I have the head flipped over, but on the head and cylinder 2 and 3, there's actually some rings, small little rings on them that also indicate, with the help of the copper seal, which is another, I guess this is a new reason why I like putting this stuff on, because it showed me kind of where it wasn't sealing. So that's actually really awesome. Oh, you can actually see it right here. You can see right there. That's what I was talking about. It wasn't sealing right there. You can see where it's built up and build up over there, but not right there. So that's where it was still leaking. And this is one of the spots right here in the center where there's waves on both sides. Now this is a little new to me right here because I've actually never disassembled an H22 bottom end. So for an oil pump, or I think that's an oil pump, I'm not entirely too sure. That's new to me. Might be because I'm only assuming because of the markings. So before taking that off, what all data tells me is to stick a screwdriver in there to loosen that bolt, and then yeah. Anything that I'm learning, I'm going to share with you guys when I get to it. But first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this thing as bare as I possibly can for the time being. And then start slowly working at the stuff I'm not too familiar with, so I can take my time on it. But everything else, like the oil pan, this pipe, all this other stuff, I'm just gonna zip it all off because I already know. So that is that. I don't know what this is either, so I'm gonna figure that out. I have no idea what the fuck this is. I'm gonna take this off first. I don't know what that is. We're gonna plug that back in. Oh, there it goes. I just need a little persuasion. Ah, you fucking bastard! You're gonna leak a little leaky. You need a little more persuasion up top here. We use a tool that isn't supposed to be a pry bar to be a pry bar. It's Snap-on, so it better fucking take it because they're expensive. And if they ever break, I'll just say Snap-on is shit. There we go. Oh, because there's a dowel pin. Oh, fuck. Let me consult all data on this. Alrighty, so what all data is telling me is that there's a bolt on this side. The bolt, oh jeez, I'll just show you guys. There's a bolt right here. And that, now, when you open that up, it's a seal. It's to seal the oil from in here. And then you put a maintenance bolt through it, which I don't have a maintenance bolt for it. So, I see. Yeah, oh, there it is. There's a maintenance hole in there. I got a screwdriver, and that's what I'm gonna have to use because that's just what I got. So all data on these older Honda motors actually have like little to no fucking information on them, like whatsoever. Like it's actually pretty fucking dumb with the amount of information they have on these motors. They're like not helpful at all.
So my recorder didn't record my audio for this, but anyways, I'm just grabbing a screwdriver here that will fit between that maintenance hole. That way I can hold it in place while I impact this off. These are probably like 30 to 40 foot-pounds, and they do need to be torqued because you do not want these gears coming off on you. They do hold timing components. So there's that. I think it's just its own timing. I explained what these are later. It's not the oil pump like I thought it was. It's other stuff, but it's for something else, and I explain it later. I'm not going to explain it now. But it's really that simple. Just hold it, impact it off, or hit it with your ratchet or whatever tool you have to work on motors. And then I struggled for a little bit trying to get the timing cover off here. Because I was trying to get it's an old motor, so the wood drift key at the bottom to the crank sprocket or crank gear pulley was like pretty good on there. So it was hard to get off. I was fighting it for a while. I ended up being able to get a small screwdriver and just popping it out wide enough for me to stick my pry bar in there to pop it out. And then later on, I'm gonna clean the rust on the in that little pocket there, so it goes back on easier. But that's pretty much it.
So front cover and rear cover has to come off. I already knew the rear cover had to come off, but for some reason I was like, why does all data have me doing all this weird shit? And then I'm like, oh, it makes sense now. I gotta pull this cover off. Anyways, I got it. If you have like a torch, you can heat this up. That'd probably help you out. I don't have one, but I got a nice little pry bar and a hammer. And I just kind of just tapped it. I didn't hit it hard. I just tapped it until it popped. And then it did pop out. And then I used the leverage of my longer pry bar, which is somewhere. And then that kind of pushed it out. And I'm not going to wire wheel it. I'm not going to clean. Well, that's part of the crank. I might actually wire wheel that. Clean that off so it'd be easier to put back in. And then the cover here, I just stuck my pry bar right between here. Well, first, I took my hammer and I just lightly tapped this corner. And it knocked it off just a little bit. Just enough for me to stick the edge of my pry bar in there. Just give that 2-3 taps. And so it's in, and then I just firmly pried on it, and it popped more, which gave me room to pop it down here. And then it broke completely free. So it doesn't take much to rip this out. So I'm gonna get this cover off, get that rear cover off, and get everything out. I gotta go find a bucket. There's so many fucking parts. And I'm trying, I'm trying to stay organized. I got the transmission in its own little home. I got just a mess of stuff. And my toolbox has always been too small for me. I refuse to buy an expensive toolbox until I'm making actual money. Which working for myself is a lot better than working for somebody. This is crazy. But I'm going to probably lay all the parts over by the transmission, actually, all these big parts, the crank, the pistons, and label it. Because I am going to clean all of this too while it's all out. Because none of this is getting sent to the machine shop, and it is filthy. All right, first, before I continue to the main caps, getting the oil squirters and all that out of here. Not main caps, rod caps. What we're going to do is the main caps right now. And we want to take this off in the same sequence as we did on the head gasket. We're going to start with number 1 over here, number 2, number 3, to number 4, to number 5, to number 6, to number 7, to number 8, and then 9 and then 10 are both in the center. So we go outside in, and to prevent any warpage, we're going to turn each bolt only about 1/3 of a turn. I normally do about 1/4, but people will say 1/3, but I like to go a little bit shorter. Also, fun fact, these holes right here, these are actually balancer shafts. I'm going to grab the one that doesn't have anything hooked up to it. I have worked with these before, and what these are, essentially, they're a balancer. They're what they're called. So yes, they do have to be in some sort of timed orientation when we go back through the assembly, because what will happen if it's not is the motor, it's going to feel rough. It's going to be all shitty, shaky. It's not going to be good. So I was wrong. I thought it was the oil pump for some reason. No, they're both balancer shafts. Anyways, real quick, I'm going to crack all these loose. I'm going to show you guys real quick, and I'm not going to do any voiceovers. I'm just going to set my mic down here, and hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I got to find the right size. It's not a fucking 19, that's for sure. That's about a 1/4 turn right there. Two, 3, 4, Yeah. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. And then just gonna go back on each one, same orientation, and just, yep. So now another third, another third. That was actually pretty good. And then, okay, 4, and then 5, and then 6, and then 7, and then 8, 9, 10. Now one more time, double check, make sure we're now we're like almost fully. That one's loose. Oh wait, hold on. 1, 2, yeah. Okay, that one's loose. 3, 4, 5. Ooh, I heard 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, I always like to check with my hands first. If I can turn it by hand all the way around, there's no torque on any of the bolts, which means it's okay for me to use my Ugga-Duggas. Because if there's no torque on them, you have nothing to worry about. This whole piece now is free of torque, so you will not have to worry about anything getting damaged or warped. And you don't even have to go in the crisscross orientation anymore. That is only for torquing, in case anybody was wondering.
I really need somebody to hold me accountable for hitting my recorder when I need to. But anyways, yeah, you might need a little persuasion with these. Each of these holes have dowel pins in them, just so you know, so you're prepared for that. Now, dowel pins obviously are great because it lines everything up perfectly, but they also hold a little bit of tension. So by hand, they're pretty difficult to get off. But anyways, I just kind of work my way around with my pry bars and I get it off. But just wanted to relay that information just so you're a little more prepared if you're doing this yourself. So here I'm just removing the rod caps, the main cap, or not the main caps, but the rod connecting rod caps. Holy crap, that was a tongue twister. I like to loosen them like by a quarter turn and then move on or go back and forth until they're fully loose. I've always done it that way. Yeah, that's just how I've done it to keep even torque. And then afterwards, you just be able to pull the crank out and then smack the bottom with the wood end of a hammer or anything long enough to reach in there and just pop it right out. Hold your hand on the other side of the block so the piston just doesn't hit the ground, but that's pretty much all you got to do for that. And then we might be doing an install video on this. I'm not entirely too sure. You guys comment below if you want an install video, but it's essentially this but backwards for, I guess, the whole install.
Alright, so we have everything 100% disassembled now. For the most part, I got some little stuff, but I'm just going to do that off camera. I want to get this video wrapped up so I can get to editing. Now, first things first, I went through, it's a little light, not lighted up over here very well, but I went through the crank here, and the crank looks great. Pistons are in great shape too. Normally at high mileage, a lot of these pistons, let me zoom in on number 3 here. A lot of these pistons like get scratched up right here, but man, this is like a really healthy bottom end. Bearings aren't scuffed up. There's no heat stress on the bearings. They're all pretty smooth. Like this was very well taken care of motor. However, originally the head gasket failed. They said it never overheated, but you know, we never know exactly, so that's why we always double check our stuff, even though I didn't really do that with the block. That's my mistake. And all I did was make poor excuses. So I said I didn't have a long enough straight edge, which is true, but I could have also went out, got a shorter one. We want to be in this situation, but it is what it is. You learn from your mistakes and you just try not to repeat them in the future. So the whole garage is going to be a mess for a while, which really sucks. But that's going to be it for this video. I got everything disassembled. I know I said I might not do an installation video, but if I get enough people that comment down that do want an installation video, let me know, because I won't be able to get back to this probably for a couple weeks or however long it takes the machine shop. So I'll have time to read your comments. And of course, if you want anything done to your car, or you need repair work, or you want custom stuff, let me know. You can also reach me. I have my email down below as well, or in the description, I guess. And well, if I'm too expensive for you, I'll have merch coming soon, or you can donate. Hoping soon I can get some time to do some Sequoia content, get that prepped up for what I want to build it for, because I really need to get started on that, actually. I guess I don't have to, but I'm trying to justify a reason why I need to. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and y'all have a good rest of the week or day or whatever it is for you. Okay, bye-bye.